Okay, tell me your name and rank in Changsha Kwan.
My name is Rodney Brooks. I don't have a rank in Chung Soo Kwan, but I'm working my way through the program right now. But I am a Nidan in Taekwondo.
Okay, awesome, awesome. What was your favorite thing about the conference this year?
I think the grappling. I really enjoyed the grappling that Master Albert did today. That was really, really fun. So
Awesome.
very important.
Awesome, awesome. So when it comes to your progression as a martial artist, what do you think about all the different arts we have incorporated here today? Like, is anything in particular that you would definitely like to add to your repertoire as a martial artist?
I'm in law enforcement, so the joint locks and the ground defense is very important to me. It may not, a lot of people may not feel this way, but I want to be the toughest guy in the room to kill. So both, my physical health as well as my ability to protect myself and protect others. And I was drawn to Chung Soo Kwan because of the fact that he deals with weapons, he deals with grappling, he deals with stand-up and striking and the ground defense. And so all that really appealed to me.
Was there a particular technique that you practiced today that really stood out in your mind that you think, wow, this is something that is awesome and I need to practice this and add this to my skills?
One of the gun disarms that we did was one I haven't practiced before. Our department taught us some gun disarms, but that one was better than any of the ones they showed us.
So here's kind of a hypothetical. Is there anything that you've seen in either martial arts videos or anything that you've practiced outside of martial arts training, maybe in law enforcement, that you think, oh wow, this would be great for a martial arts dojo?
Yeah, I went to a seminar for reacting to an active shooter when you don't have a weapon. And so it was a lot of disarming that active shooter when the weapon is not pointed at you but pointed at others. So you have the opportunity to come in from the side, from behind. And so a lot of those disarms I think would be awesome for any program. Anybody who wants to be a protector, I think those would be key.
How was your level of enjoyment this year at this year's conference, and do you think that you definitely want to come next year?
Oh, I definitely come in next year. I've already got it on the calendar. I have to request my vacation days off a year in advance, so I've already got next year blocked off. In fact, they scheduled it around my time off, so that was pretty awesome. I came to last year's. That was an excellent conference. I enjoyed this one more than I did last year's. If we were doing a rating of 10, I'd give it a 9 or a 10 out of 10.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You attended the conference last year, and you've been here for a couple years going on straight. Do you think this conference keeps getting better, or like, what are your thoughts about the setup for these conferences?
These conferences are actually really good. We travel from Canada ourselves. I've noticed every time I come, there's always a different learning experience and always different senseis with different ideas and tactics to do. Me, myself, being specialized in one department, another sensei will be specialized in something else. So the idea of being able to come to these seminars and interchanging your information, even though I'm a black belt, I can still learn from a white belt, just like everybody else can learn from other people. So every year has been improvement, and at the same time, every year has been different interchanges and faces. Some members can't make it, some members can make it, and you start building relationships with the members that you do see. So after building a relationship, you have personal questions to ask on experience towards those kind of people. For the people that don't always come regularly every year, there's still a connection with them. So knowing that they went 2 years ago, but then showed up this year, you get to see those familiar faces. And it's only improving more and more the more activity we have.
What is your favorite workshop this year?
Personally, I would have said everything I've liked so far. Of course, for myself, being a grappler specialist, I enjoy grappling, but to learn little different techniques like breakaways, gun techniques, self-defenses on knives, those are things that, especially with us being in Canada, they're not allowed. So some of those practices aren't even done. So to learn those tactics from here, those are the things that enticed me to be interested into more learning something that I'm not aware of.
So you've got a few black belts with a few different martial arts disciplines. Would you consider yourself more of a mixed martial artist, or do you consider yourself more specialized in grappling, like you said?
During the course, when I first started, I always looked at myself I had a brown belt, and I looked at myself like I wasn't progressing forward very much. I only knew what I knew, and as the question's asking if I feel like I specialized in something, at first I felt like I only specialized in the one thing I do. But the more I get into some of the techniques and start cooperating with other members, I start to realize the knowledge that I already know is a little bit higher than what I expect to be. So in that terms, at first you would think I specialize in one thing, but a martial artist will never specialize in anything specific, because martial arts is more than just one category. So in that terms, I would consider myself to be a mixed martial artist, not specifically a specialist.
Okay, last question. I know you've been to the conference a couple different, more than on 2 occasions. This is kind of an annual thing with you. Do you think if you are healthy enough to make it, you definitely like to continue and come to the conference next year?
Yes, I would continue coming to the conference next year. I always walk away learning something from here. Being from Little League Canada, being a little bit of a distance, always worth the travel. A lot of people don't know, me myself, I work weekends. So realistically, I take off a whole day's worth of work to be here for the conference at all times. So if you're going to ask if it's worth, in a sense, to take the time to come to the conferences, even if it's planned out for next year, if Grandmaster already has it scheduled next year, what dates there are, it shows how much priority doing the conferences are to certain members. So myself, I'm already pre-planned for next year.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. So, how many of these conferences have you attended so far?
This is my 4th, I believe.
What do you find is different from conference to conference? Do you find it's always something new and different, or do you think that it's been getting pretty same?
Oh no, every year is different, new, exciting. Always leave with a wealth of information to take back to our school.
What do you think Hapkido and martial arts in general have to offer young ladies who may be feeling unsafe in a more dangerous world out there?
Hapkido is definitely a awesome self-defense for a woman to take. It helps you learn to be more confident, to be more self-assured, and to know that you can protect yourself against an attack. Praying that never happens, but if it happens to you, you'll be armed with an arsenal of defenses that you can get away so you're not becoming a victim.
In your journey as a martial artist, do you find that you're constantly being challenged? Or do you think that you'd have to add another art form in order to challenge yourself as a martial artist?
Always being challenged. The GM is always changing, advancing, renewing techniques, and coming to these conferences with including the different Kempo and Judo and other Taekwondo arts that the other students and people bring to the school, just helps us to develop and hone our skills better and be able to adapt them in with the Hapkido techniques.
Was there a particular workshop or technique that you really enjoyed from this conference?
Well, it's hard to say. They're all great. I really liked the grappling with the judo. That was something that was different. and the cane techniques from last night were really good.
I know you've been to a couple conferences this year, so well, I mean not this year, but you've been to a couple conferences so far. Do you think that this is going to be an annual thing with you? Like you constantly want to come to the next conference?
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely always learning, growing, being able to fellowship with the different schools from around and honing from their information and their skill set is definitely worthwhile.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Albert, I know I asked Mikey a similar question to this, but just based on all the different disciplines that you've had a chance to study, do you consider yourself a mixed martial artist or more of a specialized martial artist in like grappling?
It's mixed, but I specialize in grappling.
Was there a particular workshop or technique from this conference that you really enjoyed that you think that I definitely need to go back and practice that and add that to my repertoire?
Yes, I love the wrist locks and standing arm bars, and that it really touches different techniques.
Yeah, the flow drill. Yeah.
Flow,
Yeah. Awesome. These conferences have become kind of like an annual event for you guys. You've been to quite a number of them. Do you think that they constantly keep improving?
Yes, they do. I believe it's getting better and better all the time, and it's more for the people who need various instructors, always some new instructors or new masters as well. Always room to learn. We keep an open mind.
Definitely. Is there anything that you think would be great, just from anything you've practiced in your various years of martial arts, that you think would be great to teach in the next conference?
That's a tough question. It's I believe we as we keep an open mind, that they invite the numerous instructors, it fulfills many of the demands of the people. Some things you learn in your dojo that you don't learn anywhere else. So when you go to a seminar, you learn it from different. You can teach your techniques to them, but you also learn techniques that you don't practice in your dojo from others. That's what the seminars are all about, and it's pretty good in that aspect.
Definitely. Okay, last question. I know you've had kind of a annual event going to these things, but do you think as long as you're healthy, would you like to go to the conference next year?
Oh, definitely. I like it. I like it to make it as many as I can. It's an out. I don't know how to say it. It's like an event that I enjoy, and the more I learn, never too old to learn, and I always learn, and I enjoy meeting new people. That's the fellowship is different. I like that. For that purpose, I do like that.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.